Hi, this is Jamie with Antelope Beads, and I'm here with a fun way to use the 10mm flat Euro leather. It's a way to cut the leather and twist it, which gives it this great dimensional and textural twisted look. Fred from Clay River Designs gave us this idea and said that we could use it to show you how to do it with your own colors of the 10mm Euro flat leather. So let's get started. As I said, we're going to use the 10mm leather. I have a little sample piece here that I'm going to practice with. And during my practicing and just playing around with this idea, I've found that what works best is if I give myself a space that's 1 1/4 inches long. So if you can see this mark here, I've made one mark here, one mark 1 1/4 inches away, and then I used my ruler to draw between the lines. The reason I did that is I want to try to make sure that I cut as evenly down the center of this leather as I possibly can. So I'm going to use a cutting surface here and a craft knife. You can use an X-Acto knife or a craft knife, box cutter, whichever will work best for you. And I'm just going to slowly put the point down at one end and just pull along that line that I've drawn for myself. Now I don't want to go through the whole leather on my first run. I'm going to go through 5 or so times, cutting just a little bit down into this leather each time. And that's going to ensure that I stay on my line and that, like I said, I stay down the center of this leather piece. I think one more time and I'll be through. Let's check and see by flipping it over. Nope, not yet. There we go, I can tell now. Oh. Okay, good thing this was a sample piece. Anyway, I've cut it through the center here. I have my slit. And once I've done that, I can take the end of the leather here and pass it through the hole that I've cut there. And when I pull it all the way through, you can see that it does that nice little twist. Now the reason I said we should try to cut as evenly down the center as possible is you can see here that these twists mimic each other in size and the way that they twist. Whereas here's an example of one that was a little bit off center. And you can see that this side of the leather looks thicker and seems to twist less than this side. And the piece also curves to the left. So again, that's just one reason why you want to make sure to cut down the center of your leather. And it's a great idea to practice a few times before you're doing your final piece. I've been practicing and I went ahead and did the cuts for the piece that we're going to use in this design today. So I'm going to clear off my surface here, and here's my leather. And like I said, I made 2 cuts here. I'm going to do it something like this sample, where I have some beads in the center here with the 2 leather twists on either side. So here's my leather with my 2 cuts. I'm going to take and I'm going to do the first end of the leather. Now with this design, I'm going to make sure that I take the end and go down through the cut I made. So up, down through, I'm going to pull, and there's my twist. Now I'll move to the other end and I'll go ahead and string on the beads that I want to use. Here I've used a couple of our charm slider pieces, as well as some of our silver leaf charms, 6mm Kazuri round, and I've just used an eye pen to do a wire wrapped loop that attaches to that charm holder. So I'm going to slide this one on, slide on one of our Boro duplex beads made for the flat leather, and then I do another charm holder that I'm going to put in the opposite direction. So there's my beads, and now I can do my other twist. Now when I did the twist on the first side, I made sure that I put the leather end down through this hole. I want to make sure I do the same thing on this side so that the twists are going in symmetrical ways. If I went up through the center here, the twist would be a little bit different in look, which is okay for some designs, but this one I want it to be the same. So like I said, I'm going to take my end, go down through that cut and pull. And there's my pieces. And I can let these things move back and forth, knowing that they're only going to move a little bit because the leather twists there will stop it. Now that that's on, I can go ahead and glue my piece together as I would any other. I've got my clasp here and my super glue glue. Couple drops of glue inside there. One end of my leather. Hold it for a few seconds while it bonds. Then the other side. Couple drops of glue. And that leather in as well. Now I'm going to let this sit for several hours or overnight so that I can make sure that glue is really bonded and dried before I wear it. But once it's dried, here we go. A great design with the twisted leather. You can find this sample design as well as others and lots of other video tutorials on our website, antelopebeads.com. Thank you.